Well, hello, Ingrid, and welcome. Today we're having a conversation with one of my clients and I guess now dear friends that I consider a dear friend. And I want to just, first of all, welcome you, Ingrid. And I'm hoping that we can just kind of briefly touch on your story and you can share your story of dealing with me and the programs that you're using right now. So um, I would love if you could just take a moment and introduce yourself and just briefly tell us who you are, what you do.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me, Charlene. And it's my honestly, it's my honor to be here and do this with you. So my name is Ingrid, and I've been on this terrific program since June. I started beginning of June. I've been very, very happy with it, very successful with it. And what brought me to this program, and I had shared this with Charlene earlier, a good friend of mine. I hadn't seen her in a while. And when I saw her again, she looked terrific. And I keep using the words, she was glowing, but honestly, she was. Her skin was beautiful. Her hair was beautiful. She just looked so great. And then after spending some time with her, I actually realized, and she's lost weight. She has lost weight. So after our get together with friends, I contacted her and she shared with me metabolic balance and Charlene being the coach. So this is what brought me here first and foremost was just seeing the great results on my friend. Um, and also because I have been struggling with my weight, I would say all of my adult life. Tried every single program there is out there. I stuck with the safe programs. I tried some risky programs, and it never really worked. Some were temporary, some didn't work at all. And I stuck with Weight Watchers, and I'm not embarrassed to say that because Weight Watchers is a good, solid, sound program, and I have nothing against Weight Watchers, but for me, I had gotten too comfortable in it, and I wasn't going anywhere with it. It was lose a pound, gain two, lose two, gain one, and I was for years I stayed at the same weight, and I knew I had to do something different. So that was my journey, my path to meeting up with Charlene in Metabolic Balance.
Thank you, Ingrid, for that. And
Mm.
I mean, I love that story that, you know, one of my clients was glowing so much that it was like a beacon that it just attracted you. It's so amazing. I love that story. But was there any other problem that you were trying to solve um, when you found this system, or was it completely weight loss? Just so that, you know, other women that may be in your shoes,
Mm.
if they can relate to the problem that you like, if we can go back to before you actually started working with me, like what was the main compelling issue that got you to take action and do something different?
Mhm.
What problem were you trying to solve?
Um, as I shared with you, Charlene, I am very fortunate in my mid 50s that I really don't have any medical issues. I don't have any complaints. The menopausal symptoms were very minor for me. So my main concern was weight loss, and my main concern was not being able to lose weight, and weight was creeping up on me. So I was at that point where I was a little bit terrified that I can't lose weight and I'm gaining weight and I'm already overweight. So thankfully, I did find you in metabolic balance, but I have to say my main drive was just the weight loss, and I might be in the minority. Thankfully, and knock on wood, I medical issues and discomforts, that kind of thing, I really haven't had to deal with at all.
Thank you. I'm sorry, my dog is like deciding to kill a stuffed toy right now as it's sleeping all day. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Ingrid. I know, I mean, I know that because we've spent a lot of time talking about it, and it blows my mind every single time that we talk about it that you've had no other health issues. And most people that do find me in this program are looking to balance some kind of ailment or pain or discomfort somewhere. So thank you for sharing that. Weight was the main thing. And just some other women who may be considering this program so that they understand. Would you be able to describe like the process of what you went through, working with me, following the program, like how that all played out for you?
Oh, it's it's a seamless process. Once we get the blood work back, and Charlene have an opportunity to help design my own personalized program, which I absolutely love about this is that everyone's program is different and it is based on your blood work and on your metabolism. Um, so yeah, like Charlene, you're available whenever, as we know, whenever I need you, I send you a message, or I reach out to you and you're there for me. The program is very self-explanatory, but it's very detailed as well. For me, my food choices and my food quantities are very easy to follow, so I don't have to worry about tracking everything. And for me, measuring and weighing my food is not foreign to me. I've done that often in the many programs I've tried, and it's kind of for me a security to know exactly what I'm eating by weighing my food. So that to me is very, very important. Um, does that answer the question? I think I
Yeah.
veered.
Yeah, no, I think it does. And it sounds like it's a magical utopia land. Like it's just so beautiful and easy. But I'm going to take you back to the very beginning. And I know that's, a little while ago now. It's been whatever, 5-ish
6
months.
months, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I think sometimes we have a very short-term pain memory, but I want to just take you back to the point when we first started. I think if I remember correctly, Ingrid, there was a little bit of terror on your part in the beginning about
Oh,
some of the changes that you were like, how,
yeah,
what? These
yeah,
are the
yeah.
foods. This is
It,
what?
because the program was so different from anything I've ever tried, and my because of just the way my program is written out for me, my quantities are quite, for me anyways, quite low. Um, and I struggled the first 2 weeks. I struggled and I hated it and I was angry and I was I was everything. And I thought, I cannot believe what I got myself into. What am I doing? Um, but it was 2 weeks. Honestly, it was 2 weeks. And then after the 2 week, that's when you add in your fats, and I think your body actually adjusts to the shock of it. And then it started to flow, and now it's just like we were talking earlier. It's just my lifestyle now. But and I'm not going to lie, it's not an easy program. It's not. For some people, it might be a little easier, but it's not easy. It takes dedication, and you know what? I was bound and determined to do this no matter what, and that's what it takes. Not just the food program, and not just you know um, everything that's set out for you. You have to have your mind in the right place to do this. I really believe you do.
Yeah. So let's share with anyone who's watching, like what was the challenge? What was difficult for you?
Um, I think the most difficult part was the quantities of food. The variety of food that is on my program is quite good, and I'm really happy with the variety. But the quantity was a bit of a shocker for me. But in the end, what that really tells me is I was eating way too much food, and even what I thought were good foods, like the quantities I was eating was way too much. And when I think that I can be satisfied now on what my numbers, what my amounts are, and quite satisfied, it just really goes to show you that, yeah, I was eating far too much. But
Interesting.
that was my biggest struggle, was the amount of food that I was allotted. And I guess, yeah, I was angry and I was upset and I was throwing a bit of a tantrum. How dare you say I can't have so much food? And
Yeah. And
it's
that's
funny.
it's so interesting
Mm.
how our brain wants to keep us doing the same thing where it's comfortable and known. And I
Yes.
think that's part of the resistance that
Mhm.
comes up. But
Mhm.
um, so you're satisfied, obviously, with the quantities of food now that you have. You're feeling
Mhm.
satisfied and full and
Mhm. Mhm.
endure.
And the other thing I wanted to share with you, and we talked about this before, is how our bodies get to a point where we want to be comfortable. And one of my leaders in one of my former programs that I tried, actually it was in Weight Watchers, one of her quotes was, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. And I finally was able to turn that around and say, you know what? I've always done this Weight Watchers program and I'm always getting the same results. So I really have to do something different. And I think that's what shocked my body, is that I had stepped out of my comfort zone into
Mhm.
something that challenged me. And I'm not going to say it was uncomfortable, but it challenged me. And I think that's what I was fighting the challenge.
Yeah,
So yeah. But yes, and yes, now the food quantities, my body is very much used to it. Um, and I've really learned what works for me and what might not work well for me. So yeah, it's like I said, it's just really become part of my day-to-day lifestyle.
I love it. And that's, as I mentioned to you earlier, that's my deepest hope and desire for every single one
Mhm.
of my clients. Um, and I mean, I know the progress that you've made, but I don't think we've shared it here today. So, um, would you be willing to share what you've noticed or what benefits you've seen or felt by following the program and work?
Absolutely. So to date, I am down 33 pounds, and that is in 6 months. Now, of course, the beginning went very quickly. It was just melting off. And then as my body became adjusted to the program and as I became more comfortable, um, it continued to come off, not as quickly. And the inches have come off. I don't have my numbers in front of me, but I was actually quite shocked at the inches that I've lost. And my clothes are fitting better. I find, my skin is nicer, my hair is nicer. I'm just overall, because of all of that, I'm just feeling so much better about myself. And
Mhm.
it all just goes hand in hand.
Yes, and I've seen the transformation happen with you, like not only physically, but just as a she's quiet all day. I'm so sorry.
Can't hear. It's
All
okay.
day.
Can't
Yeah,
hear.
this is real life. I've seen the evolution of you from a mindset, but also from a physical perspective of
Mhm.
how things have just evolved and grown, and also how your face has changed. Because
Mm.
to be quite honest, we have never physically met in
No,
person.
no, we
No,
haven't.
only
Oh,
through
no.
2D. So that's my measurement. Only, what I see in photos and in measurements on
Mhm.
in numbers.
Mhm.
Ingrid, I'll just first of all, I really do want to thank you for your time and sharing this information, because this can be vulnerable for people. We don't often venture into these types of things to share it with the world or other people.
Mhm.
It's really a private thing. I find most people that find me is more of a private journey, and they want to keep it kind of under wraps. And you don't want to tell anybody sometimes, because the things I've done before, it hasn't worked. So I don't want to
Yeah.
put myself out there and like let everybody know I'm doing this. So I
Yeah.
do appreciate that this is vulnerable to come out and like
Mhm.
tell your story. So I do thank you. And it really is my hope that that other people that are thinking about, that have been in the same boat as you, that have tried many different things and are just frustrated and think that there's no hope, to know that there is a different way. So really,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
really do want to thank you
Mm.
for being the leader and showing and modeling that there are possibilities and to do something different. But I will ask you, just on closing, if you were to give advice or share any words of wisdom for anyone that may be watching and in the same boat that you were before you started working with me, what advice or encouragement would you offer them?
Mhm. I would say if you really and truly are ready to make a change, there is hope. There is hope, and this program works. And you have to be ready for it. But I have to say, if you are ready and you're ready to take that step and go a little bit out of your comfort zone, this is the program for you.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. I really
Mhm.
appreciate your time and you being here and you sharing this part of your journey and your story and for being an amazing client to work with. So it's truly my pleasure and my deepest honor to have you here today.
Oh,
So thank you.
my pleasure to be here, Charlene. Thank you.